Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is Ketch, and we are looking at the SFR GT Challenge GTC3 division from Suzuka, round 11. So, we have to let everybody out there know that we are a little bit behind, and unfortunately, I do not have my partner Rodrigo with me at the moment because it's pretty early in the morning here this Sunday morning. So I want to wish everybody out there, hopefully you had a great weekend and you've watched our GTC1 finale live from Le Mans, broadcasted by Demo 1 Garage. You've watched our GTC2 finale, broadcasted by Demo 1 Garage from Le Mans. And now tonight, you have a double header of GTC3 coming at you. So we have in the morning to kick things off on your Sunday with me doing round 11 from Suzuka. And then tonight we have a special edition of the grand finale of GTC3 from Demo 1 Garage. Our broadcaster Josh is going to do GTC3. So before we get things kicked off, again, I'd like to hope and wish everybody out there pretty much a great weekend. I hope you're having a great weekend. And we have some exciting stuff going on here. So let me break things down for everybody for the GTC3 division guys here on what things look like before this round actually took place. So we have RR1 Wing 46 from Rockefeller Racing, who's starting in 4th tonight. He is in the lead in the championship, although it is not safe 100% without this race. So he needs to do fairly well tonight, or today rather, in this Suzuka race. Then you have our Magic Man that was in 2nd place at this moment here, followed by BDRT J-Rod 23. So you have two Rockefeller drivers on 1 and 2 right now, and then you have BDRT driver J-Rod 23 and his Corvette in 3rd. Okay, and then you have BDRT Twilight. So you have two. He was in 4th position at this point, and RWB Little Mac is in 5th. Then if we go a little bit further down the field, we have Anubis from Rockefeller, RR Anubis, and RWB Joey Cannoli in 7th. So, ladies and gentlemen, the points are not out of reach. For those two final podium positions, the points are pretty much not out of reach all the way down to where you could get into Joey Cannoli, who's going to fight for a top 4, and Anubis for a top 4, but you have actually BDRT J-Rod 23 fighting for the final 2nd or 3rd position. You have RR Magic Man fighting for the 2nd or 3rd position. Then you have BDRT Twilight fighting for the 2nd or 3rd position. Also, RWB Little Mac 26 representing the red, white, and blue racing team, who's been a great addition to things here. Along with TPRT MDES, who's fighting for the backfield a little bit, those mid-pack, anything from 5th on, basically. So it's really interesting here because depending on what One Wing does going into this race right now tonight, he could actually be in jeopardy of losing the number 1 spot, which he's held for the majority of the season. I'd say the last half of the season, give or take, and it's been a toss-up, a mix between 2nd and 5th. Things have been out of control. We have to tip our cap to RWB Little Mac 26, who's on pole right now. It's worth mentioning that this guy did not enter GTC3 division until round 6. So think about that. There's 12 rounds total. This guy's missed half the rounds, and he's fighting for an actual podium position, and possibly depending on what one wing does. You know, if one wing, that's why every race counts. If one wing has a slip up and finishes at the rear of the field, it's going to bump all these guys up, and they could steal the top spot from him, and Little Mac can make his way onto the podium. So you really have three different teams fighting for this championship here, of the Drivers' Championship. The team championships are pretty similar between these three teams as well, although, like I mentioned, RWB Little Mac 26 didn't join to the 6th round, so Joey Cannoli had his teammate Francisco with him, but Francisco's missed some races, so Joey Cannoli was on his own for a little bit. But that kind of sits right now between the team standings between Black Dragon Racing and Rockefeller Racing, who have been together since season 1, basically, in a battle. So, without further ado, you guys know the stakes now. You guys know who's in what positions here. And this is going to play a big deal after this race. So after this race, I will update you on the standings. So when we go into tonight's race at Le Mans, you will know who sits where and who has a shot to do what. So it's been a little while since I streamed an SFR race because Rodrigo had did the last race at Kyoto without me. Great job by him. But again, without further ado, let's get things underway and let's see if I still remember how to do this. So we have Little Mac on pole, big deal. BDRT J-Rod right behind them, 2 Corvettes, and then a 3rd Corvette in RR Magic Man, the team captain for Rockefeller, who sits on the final podium position. Then you got One Wing, the championship leader, the Canadian, in 4th in the 4GT. Joey Cannoli, who has come from strength to strength this season, is in the top 5. Then you have Rockefeller's Anubis and the Viper in 6th place. Pretty solid qualifying for him. TPRT Mdez, really experienced driver, has put on nice showings all season long in his 911. And our early Mac in the BMW M6. Mac is our resident Beamer driver. He takes the final 8th spot on the grid, and we'll go from there. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's hear these engines rev, and we'll have Little Mac take us into the first corner here at Suzuka for 29 laps. We're about to get underway. As you can hear the engines rev, that beautiful red, white, and blue livery. And here he goes. He's on racing softs. He gets us going. What a jump he had. What a jump. Well, One Wing gets in front of his teammate Magic Man. They get into the first turn cleanly. One Wing takes that position, followed by Magic Man, followed by Cannoli in the bends, followed by Anubis. We have a tight little spot here from Twilight, who is going to get Mdez, and then his fellow 911 driver Inferno behind him. Early Mac there in the Beamer, lost a few positions, and looks like Big Red had a little bit of trouble off the line here. So let's get back up front here as we have Little Mac here and his vet taking us into the Degners. This could be a real difficult part of the track. They get that right. Little Mac on softs, J-Rod on softs, everybody getting the Degners right. Oh, One Wing on mediums, Magic Man on mediums, Cannoli on mediums, and Twilight on softs. So your top 6, you have Twilight and Little Mac on softs. Now we have a battle here on racing hards between Anubis and his Viper, powering out the Porsche, who's on mediums. Wow, good job there by Anubis, who gets that Viper power down. Got to be careful through Spoon here on those hard tires especially. They get it right. Mdez follows through on mediums. Good job. On hards also in the 911 is Inferno. Mac on the mediums looking to keep pace, and so is Big Red on the medium. So there is your tire field. A couple of guys getting it out of the way early as Little Mac takes us into 130R, into the final chicane, building about a half a second lead over J-Rod here as they come home after end of lap 1, a clean lap 1. You have One Wing crossing the line there, Magic Man. line abreast here for everybody. We got Twilight. Is he going to make a move on Cannoli to the inside? Here he comes. He's got the positioning. He backs off. Wise move there. Oh, we have Magic Man right in front. Magic Man spins out. No. Wow, Magic Man had just spun out. Oh, and he has Inferno spin out behind them. What a crazy start to this race. That is going to really hurt Magic Man in the championship. We have to see what he can do. What a crazy situation that just happened there, ladies and gentlemen. That was unbelievable. As you have Twilight, who is on the softs all over the back of Joey Cannoli right now. But that has just opened the door for a teammate in one wing and the championship leader, and J-Rod and Little Mac. Look at this positioning that Little Mac is doing here. Obviously purpling here. And that beautiful looking vet, he is putting some distance between him and J-Rod. I'm sorry. J-Rod doing a solid job to stick with him though. And here we go. This is where it's at here. We have Joey Cannoli on the mediums and Twilight, who's on the softs, looking to get around them. I believe Twilight was a last-minute entry to this race. He's going to take the inside up at the spoon. Cannoli's not going to like that. And respectful driving from Twilight there, maybe thinking he can get him down 130R. Let's see what he can do. He's on his bumper. He's going to take the inside line here. The vet does have a little bit more straight line speed than the Merc, and Cannoli does the right thing. He lets off, and they come through 130R successfully. You rather save yourself from any incidents happening. I think Cannoli realized there that he was on the lesser compound of tire just by the speed that Twilight shot out of the gate with, and you can see it right there as Twilight starts to hunt down his closest competitor in the championships with his teammate J-Rod, but he's hunting down one wing, and one wing is on those mediums here. So Cannoli doing a solid job in the top 5 here, looking to get good points for RWB. Somehow we have Mdez, who wound up overtaking Anubis. Anubis was on the hard move through Spoon, but I said Mdez is a talented driver, and on the harder compact tires, the softer rather, on the mediums, as Anubis we see is on the hards, you just figure that Mdez would be the one to get that position, and that Viper is going to have a very tough time keeping up with the 911 through these S sections here, especially on a lesser compound. Let's get an update down the field though, as we have Early Mac in 8th right now. Magic Man recovering in 9th, but he's got Big Red on his tail for Black Dragon Racing in the Ford GT. As you see a little bit of damage from Big Red's front right bumper. I believe that happened off the line. I think there was a little bit of a situation here. Magic Man has a clean car. He doesn't have any damage here, but he's going to have a lot of work here. It is a very long race, but Magic Man really needs to get going here, as we have Inferno there. You can see coming around the hairpin on the racing hard tires, and he followed his teammate Magic Man into that horrible situation into T1. So that was tough there for those guys. A lot of work though, as Little Mac here is coming back in the 130R. This guy is looking smooth right now. And J-Rod not too far behind, but J-Rod's down about 1.5 to 2 seconds on Little Mac right now. So Little Mac is really doing what he needs to do. As you see everybody make their way through the last chicane there. Yes, so as we figured here, let's see, is Magic Man closing in on Mac? So Mac is on the mediums, Magic Man is on the mediums as well. You would figure Mac would probably allow Magic Man to get by once that does take place, if it does take place. Magic Man had more pace here in the beginning. He's getting T1 properly secured right now. Doesn't want to take any more risks or chances. That could happen when you're on cold tires, as we all know. But Little Mac sets the fastest lap of the race so far on lap 2, which was a 2-minute flat here. We expect these guys to get into the 159s for sure, I would say. J-Rod just coming through the second of the Degners. I'm sorry, Lesmos. I get Degners and Lesmos confused sometimes from Monza. the Lesmos here. They're very... No, they are Degners. Are they Degners or are they Lesmos? Somebody in the chat let me know, because now I'm going to call them Degners and Lesmos all day, and we're going to get all twisted. I'm pretty sure they're Lesmos. I'm sorry about that. Let's get back to the racing, though, as we go on board with J-Rod here. Let's see how this guy handles Spoon, an experienced driver for Black Dragon Racing Team. Very tough corner to handle and navigate here. You got to ride those curbings. A pretty decent exit from J-Rod. Nice job with the shifting of the vet. You want to stay to the left here and allow your car and the road to take you to the right. As you head into 130R, will he lift? Lift and downshift with the vet gearing into the final chicane. Got to get your braking proper here into the final chicane. Tremendous driving. But as you can see, Little Mac in the distance, putting some distance between them right now. So J-Rod has his hands full, but he's in a pretty solid position. One Wing now is getting hunted down by Twilight. Here we go on the mediums versus the softs. This is Twilight's opportunity. It's going to be hard to make a pass through the S's, and it just seems like One Wing actually did get that door shut before the S's. It's a very hard thing to do at Suzuka for anybody, any driver, any skill to make an attempt on passing through the S's. Let's go on board here with Twilight and see just how much throttle control and wheels and then turning of the wheel is required through this S section. His next opportunity is going to be through 130R and on the home straight. Got to get this hairpin correct here as well. He gets a better hairpin exit than One Wing there. Ford GT does have some pretty high top end speed, but that was a better exit from Twilight. So just worth mentioning in this race too, it says the same as always. You have to run 5 laps on the mediums and 5 laps on the hards. And for tonight's race in the Le Mans final, since it's Le Mans and it's only a 16-lap race, it's going to be 3 laps on the minimum for each compound. Now here is Twilight here. Can he get anything done going into 130R? Not just yet. He's going to probably play his cards safe as you get a little lock up there from One Wing. Will Twilight have enough juice left in these tires to get a run down the... okay, Twilight's going into the pits. He's the first of our front runner to pit on the softs, so we know Little Mac's on the softs as well. That it gives Cannoli 4th, Mdes 5th. Is he coming back out on softs? Okay, Twilight goes right to the hard, so interesting decision. He gets jumped by Cannoli. So interesting decision there. How far back is Mdes? Mdes is going to be right there on his tail, and so is Magic Man. Anubis enters on the hard, so he got his 5 laps done on the hards and got them out of the way here. Max still on the mediums, so the guys on the mediums are electing to go a little bit further. So Anubis comes out, goes from hards right to mediums. We'll see how that plays out for him there. Big Red still on the mediums, and Inferno into the pits, got rid of his hards, back onto the mediums here. Okay, so at the front of the field you can see Little Mac 6 laps on the softs, taking care of his tires pretty well. Really good job so far. Let's take a look at J-Rod's tires. Also a really good job. Actually, J-Rod's probably taking care of his tires slightly better, and that just comes down to your driving style, your driving skills. So we shall see what these drivers do. In 3rd place, we have One Wing again, the championship leader, who has gotten Twilight off of his back for some breathing room. So the field is spread out a little bit as we have Cannoli in his Merc. The guy's been in the Merc all season long, and he's been doing a great job, and he's in 4th place on those mediums. Those tires look really well. He's taking care of them pretty well. as we have the leader into the pits here. So let's see what the leader does. Beautiful looking Corvette there from red, white, and blue. J-Rod follows. Back out on softs for Little Mac. No pit entry exit there. Violation. Onto the hards for J-Rod as you have Cannoli, Mdez, Magic Man, a bunch of drivers went into the pit lane. So now this is going to get interesting here because J-Rod has taken to the hard tires here, and that is going to build an extreme lead for Little Mac. However, J-Rod will have a less compound to run towards the end of the race. So we're expecting J-Rod to come in on lap 11. That will be his final lap on the hards. So J-Rod looking pretty solid right now after this positioning played out here, where he's in second place on the racing hards, as you have One Wing who got off the mediums and is on the softs right now, as J-Rod is just entering the hairpin. So it's looking good for J-Rod, but J-Rod has to pay attention to his mirrors because One Wing will be coming hot and heavy. But the advantage for J-Rod there is he's on the racing hards and he has position on the track. So he doesn't want to lose sight of Little Mac if he can, which is going to be easier said than done, as Mac's on the softs, running on pole today, running the fastest lap of the race. But J-Rod is no slouch and very experienced driver. So as we have One Wing just exiting Spoon there, so pretty interesting stuff. We'll keep an eye on that. There is Twilight from BDRT, who's making his way up the field on the hards. He's shaking the front end a little bit, trying to get some heat in those tires, as he has One Wing in front of him. But Twilight is also sitting in a really pretty position here on those racing hards as well. So it looks like him and J-Rod are on the same strategy. Now Cannoli, who'd lost the net position because he pit a lap later than Twilight, but Cannoli actually doing the same thing on the hard. So these drivers are elected to go with the hards, get them out of the way first. And remember, Cannoli was on the medium, so he will be on the softs the rest of the way. Mdez went mediums first, right to the softs. So Mdez is going to have some fun running down Cannoli here in his 911. That should be very interesting. Magic Man on the hards, not too far behind Mdez, so Magic Man getting both of his tires out of the way, trying to make up as much time as he can after that unfortunate spin. And don't forget, Magic Man was in third place on the podium to start this race. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's worth mentioning here that the positions go One Wing number 1, Magic Man number 2, J-Rod number 3 in the championship, but breathing down their necks is BDRT Twilight and RWB Little Mac. So this could throw everything on its head, and we've had this all season long through GTC3. It's been really great to watch here. As we have Anubis got off those hards and went on the medium, so he's not too far behind his teammate either. But he has a little bit of damage in the front end of his bumper there. Mac going to the hards here. So it seems like the Rockefeller guys are pretty much on the same page with strategy. Just a little bit of a different switch up here as Big Red, our veteran here, and his first season with Black Dragon Racing. I have one of the most respectful drivers I've ever seen on track. The guy shows up every week. He suffers from pain like I do as well. And Big Red has been nothing but supportive of our series here. And he's come a long way. He's driving a new car. He takes on challenges. And I'll give a shout out, well deserved, to BDRT Nataku, who makes all the Black Dragon Racing liveries. Very, very good looking liveries. They got that orange, black and white, and you can see the great detail on the car there. So really nice looking cars there. TPRT has some nice looking liveries as well, and we know that Magic Man makes all the Rockefeller Racing liveries. So TPRT, I don't know who makes TPRTs, but here we go. Forget about liveries. Let's get on board here, as we knew the soft tires and this 911 were going to haul in Cannoli on the hard tires here, as Mdez is right on the tailpipes here. Look at this. Suzuka is one of the hardest tracks to make a clean pass on here, and Mdez is a clean driver. He's got to go to the outside. He's going to go back for the switch over. Can he get it done? That Merc's going to have a little bit more grunt out of the corner, and he does have corner exit speed, and that was just a little bit unfortunate for Mdez. He had to lock it up going into the hairpin. Probably caught him out by guard, out of suspect. Definitely caught him. Oh, Cannoli goes a little wide. Easy to do on the hard tires. Add a spoon, and there you go. The job is done for Mdez. Great job from Mdez. And now he sees Twilight, who's on the hards, in his distance going through 130R there. So Mdez is on a mission here, ladies and gentlemen, to get maybe himself on the podium. And he's already got the hards out of the way. As we see, Little Mac here has now run down J-Rod on the hards. J-Rod going wide. Oh no, J-Rod is wide. A second contender for the championship running wide. And that gives One Wing the second position. We caught that right in time. These racing hard tires are torture. It is very hard to get that right in the first corner, especially when they're not warm. And I'll tell you, it takes about 2 to 3 laps to get these tires warm. J-Rod luckily saved that. Let's see how far behind he is to his teammate, who's also on the hards. He's got some running room to play with there, and he probably would have held up One Wing for another lap. I don't think One Wing would have been able to get him until 130R. So J-Rod doing a really excellent job of saving that position there and only losing one spot, still on the podium on those hards. That was a heart in the mouth moment for J-Rod there, as we like to call them, Code Browns. And here we go. Mdez already took one victim on the racing hards. Now he's looking for another one on the racing hards. In his 911, he is coming against Twilight here. And again, Mdez fighting for those top midfield positions, anywhere from 4th to 5th, and Twilight is fighting for the podium, anywhere from 2nd to 3rd to 4th. So this is all up in the air, guys. Cannoli, you can see in the TV camera in the distance, doing a pretty good job there on those racing hards, trying to keep pace. He'll be in good shape later, as Twilight runs a little bit wide, but he handles it. Good job of railing the car in, as Mdez is right on his bumper now. Mdez looking for... Oh, Mdez has to lift off. Oh, Twilight goes in the pits. That was very, 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 very difficult. Mdez almost got called out twice by 2 different drivers. That was a tough situation there. Now we got softs for Twilight here. So Twilight is going to be on a mission himself. Cannoli still holding down 5th. Mdez up into 4th here. Mdez is on a little bit of a different pit cycle than the front runners here. J-Rod, we would expect to come in this lap, as we check in with One Wing. Going through the Lesmos now, the Degners. Somebody please let me know in chat. I believe it's the Degners. The Lesmos are at Monza, as I mentioned. So, One Wing there, and he is about 6 to 7 seconds, I would say, off of Little Mac. I wish we had intervals on replays here. But Little Mac, again, went soft to soft, so don't forget that. And there he went on lap 8, 159.7. I told you they would get into those. We might even see some 158s here out of the guys. And there is so little gap between all the divisions. It's really insane how close the fields have been through all three divisions all season long. So Little Mac on it's just because of tire wear. So can we see One Wing come into the picture on the TV camera before the end of the first quarter? No, we cannot. One Wing just crossing the finish line there, also down about a second. So J-Rod enters the pits, getting rid of those hards. Let's see what J-Rod does. Will he take a splash and dash too? He will. He's going for a little bit of fuel. We'll have to see if Twilight follows along the same lines. Where's Mdez? Mdez is still too far away, so J-Rod winds up holding his position on the podium even after that spill at a T1, but now he's on the medium, so he went softs. Good idea, because he was on the second position on the grid, right to his hards. Now he's right on his medium, so these should feel a little bit better for J-Rod, and then he's on softs the rest of the way home. So it will be interesting because One Wing has to use the racing hard tires, and Little Mac, as we see there, needs to use the racing mediums and the racing hard. So a bunch of different strategy calls from everybody here throughout the field tonight. I keep saying tonight. It's 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. So here we go. Our three podium drivers are pretty much separated right now, but that will change towards the end of the race here, and now we have another interesting battle about to take place. As look at Twilight rip that Corvette through the hairpin on some fresh softs, and now the roles have reversed as he will look to hunt down Mdez on the worn softs. He's got to be careful because Mdez may be going into the pits this lap, as those softs are pretty worn here, and it looks like Mdez is running maybe 7 laps on those softs, which I'll tell you, everybody out there, as we see Little Mac enter the pits, we'll get on him and see what he does in a second here, as I just want to keep an eye on this here. As Twilight, is he going to get him before 130R? Can Mdez handle 130R properly? One Wing got into the pits as well, so we have to check out what those guys did. One Wing can't get him here, but I think Mdez will go into the pits as Mdez runs wide. Mdez runs wide, come back on track. Where is the TV camera? There it is. Mdez ran wide and he has to go into the pits. He hits the pit wall. Oh, he's got damage. That's so bad. Mdez ran wide out of the final chicane. And he just missed Twilight. What a great job by Twilight for avoiding that. And then those soft tires, the mid-engine of the 911. Wow. Now Mdez loses 2 positions net because of that. Here on some clean softs, while Mdez is on softs as well. So we go back to this like we had the beginning of the race. The Viper's got some heat in the tires. Mdez doesn't. He's coming off of damage out of the final chicane, going into the pits. Look at the front end. It has to shake a driver up. He almost had 2 crazy calls where he was trying to make passes on drivers on the hards. And this guy's had an amazing race. It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right, it's hitting pit walls, it's passing people. Wow, oh wow, the TPRT driver is I can only imagine what's going on behind the wheel in his head right now. But he starts to make a little bit of pull from the Viper, and what happened there is he lost the position to Cannoli, who has Magic Man now chasing him down, and I believe both of these guys are on the softs for the rest of the way here. So this is going to get interesting. Let's just get a tip up at the front of the field. Little Mac finally went mediums. So he went 12 and he went 6 and 6. So he finally went mediums. One Wing, he went back to the soft, so it looks like he might be saving his hards for a little later on. J-Rod on his mediums, as we know, is pretty close to One Wing there. Twilight, look at this guy rip through 130R on the softs, and he's looking to pull as much distance as he can, as we have Magic Man and we have Cannoli here. This is going to get interesting as well. Both drivers on softs. Magic Man wants a position back. Cannoli does not want to give it up. Then you have Mdez behind them, gathering themselves, as what happened to Magic Man? Did Magic Man spin again? Magic Man spun again! Oh no, just when Magic Man thought he had it, he wound up spinning again. I don't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a crazy race at Suzuka today. This is unbelievable. That's two mistakes from Magic Man. I'm not sure. It might have been, I don't want to make excuses, but I think that he was forced into that mistake by having to really brake hard for the final chicane as he was on the attack to Joey Cannoli. Wow, that gives Emdes the position there in his Viper, and Emdes is not done yet chasing down Cannoli, and Anubis is not done chasing down Emdes, so we have a definite three-way battle going on here. But what that does is that allows this man Twilight to escape even further and try and pull in his teammate J-Rod, which is huge for the championship and huge for the team points, as J-Rod is coming at a spoon, looking to catch Little Mac here, but he's probably not going to do that unless there's another mistake, which we've seen all day from drivers. Little Mac, he does lock up that rear. It is a mid-engine car, so it is easy to do. Lock up that one right rear tire going into the final chicane there. But Little Mac is looking to put down some solid laps here. I'm sorry, one wing. Looking to put down some solid laps here while he's still on the softs, as you see J-Rod enter the TV camera there. So that's about a 6-second lead as they all try and catch this man. Now Twilight enters the pit, so this is going to be big here. We'll see what Cannoli does and Emdes. Cannoli and Emdes look like they're going to go by him. Twilight's taking fuel. Just a splash. Joey Cannoli's going to get him. Oh, look at this. There's a battle of three. They all get him. And Twilight loses out there. That little splash of fuel. He might have needed it, though, to run his medium stint. They all wound up passing Twilight out of pit lane as Anubis is all over the back of Emdes now. But Cannoli leads this field. Twilight on some fresh mediums, you figure. He's got the pace, he's got the experience, as we see Anubis trying to hold suit with the two drivers that are on soft tires. So Anubis is doing a pretty good job here, but he has Twilight who's behind him, who's on some fresher mediums here. So Anubis is on the softs here, so it's going to be a tight one here. It's going to be a tight one. Cannoli, Emdes, Anubis, and Twilight all getting the hairpin properly right. There's Twilight here. Will anybody make a move through Spoon here? They all get Spoon correct. Very important. Let's take a ride on the V10 SRT Viper and see the power of this thing. It's got that Vet lurking behind them, but the Vet is on mediums. Going into 130R with two cars in front of you. The 911 getting a little wide. We'll see how tricky the chicane is. Will Anubis go for a move? Wow, Joey Cannoli running a little wide, and there's contact, and there's more contact. And now that gives the position to Anubis and Twilight. There was contact between Emdes and Cannoli. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we've either had perfect commentator's curse, but we won't take blame for that because this race already happened, but we've had some perfect timing on the camera angles tonight. Today, I'm a mess myself. I can't keep up. I cannot keep up with this. That puts Magic Man back in play now, and every position for Magic Man is much needed because he can't afford to lose any positions in the championship. Let's check in with Inferno here. Inferno in the 911. His car is clean as a whistle, so he stayed out of some battles here, which is good. Mac, same situation, stayed out of some battles here. Big Red, other than the front of the bumper from the start of the race, has stayed out of battles there. back to the lead of the race on mediums. I mean, things are working out. I mean, you can't take anything away from Little Mac. He hasn't put a foot wrong all day long, but that being said, things have certainly played into his hands, and I don't even think he has any idea of what's going on behind him here, nor does he care, because he's just putting in lap after lap after lap consistently. Yeah, you see he's down on his time a little bit there, but keep in mind, there's a lot of fuel saving going on. He knows he has a comfortable lead. He's on the medium tires, so you're going to run a little slower than you've been running before, and he knows the time intervals, so he knows he doesn't have to go crazy with wasting fuel and putting down hot laps. That's what it's about, not putting down hot laps. It's a long race. These races are about an hour long, so you know you need the endurance. So we're 17 laps into 29 here, as One Wing is in second place here, and he's coming through the S's, and he is not that far behind. So let's keep in mind here, we have Little Mac on the mediums coming through, Lesmo 2, Degner 2, Lesmo 2, Degner 2, Lesmo 2, Degner 2. Little Mac on the mediums here, and One Wing just about, he's gonna be just about 6 seconds, I would say, behind, give or take. But that's going to play into Little Mac's hands, because both of these drivers have to use the hard compound. So it looks like this is Little Mac's race to lose, but you never know. What we saw today, ladies and gentlemen, so far, you can't rule anything out. And already you can see, look at the fuel. So a lot of these drivers, that's something that we just picked up on, have splashed and dashed, and One Wing has not done that either. So that may give J-Rod an advantage, because he has tons more fuel and he will be on softs the rest of the way, while One Wing has to run the hards, and so does Little Mac. So do not count J-Rod out of winning this race. Now look at this. We come back to where it's been at pretty much all day. Anubis has gotten around from that Mdez and Cannoli coming together, and he has Twilight on his rear bumper here. Anubis is running out of fuel. Twilight does not care about that. Twilight keeping pace on the mediums. We will see if there's a move to be made at 130R. Twilight thinks better of it. Probably knows he has net position over Anubis, although it's hard to tell with all the things that have been happening today. It will be hard to tell where exactly you are in the field as Anubis peels off and goes into the pits. So that will give Twilight an ever so precious 4th position, and BDRT very good team points. So what will Anubis do here? He needs fuel. Magic Man in behind them. So Magic Man might indeed jump Anubis here, because he has some more fuel in the Vet. Which both cars, the Viper does save fuel a lot more. Let's see how far out behind Magic Man comes. Anubis taking new softs. Magic Man not too far behind, taking new softs. So these guys will be racing. Again, Anubis is fighting as Inferno goes in too. Let's see what Inferno gets in his line 11. Inferno's getting fuel, and he should be on softs the rest of the way, as we have Mac follow him in. Mac's got a lot more fuel, so Mac might indeed jump him or be right on his tail when he comes out. And yeah, soft for these drivers here as Big Red comes down. That's a pit penalty for Inferno on exit. It could have been lag though, so we don't want to condemn anybody just yet. But so Mac, and now he's got Big Red on his tail, and Mac did pit for new softs and fuel. Looks like he has to the end. So Big Red with a 360. Wow, oh, wow on the soft tires. He collects it though, luckily no damage, as we have the front runners entering the pits as Big Red collects himself. Little Mac is out on the hards, and he looks like he just has just enough fuel for that. J-Rod still on the mediums here. Will he get one wing? I told you don't fall asleep on J-Rod just yet, and I believe he does get one wing as one wing just comes out of the pits on the softs again. So one wing will save the racing hards to the end of the race. Where is Twilight? Twilight just coming around the start-finish line here, so it's a tough position here as Cannoli and Emdes enter the pits. This is a race between these guys here, as you gotta wonder what would have happened with Cannoli, because Cannoli was the leader on the softs. He had the incident with Magic Man, he had the incident with Emdes. Does Cannoli get out ahead of Magic Man? He does. Just look at this. Magic Man having to run wide again. Now we have another battle on our hands. Like I said, every position is so crucial for Magic Man and also for Cannoli, but if Magic Man wants to have any chance at taking home a second place finish in the championship, he needs all the points he can get, and now he just got beat out of the pits, so this is going to be an interesting battle to watch with 11 laps left, everybody, so we're going to have to see what happens. I believe there's another battle up here. We have Emdes on the racing hards. Now, that was my mistake. I thought Emdes might have taken him early. I know Anubis did. So Anubis is looking at a definite top 5 finish here, possibly more, because you'd figure it's only a matter of time before he gets around Emdes. Things could have been much different for Magic Man, Emdes, and Cannoli had they not all had their own incidents. I lie here. J-Rod does. J-Rod's going to go, you would figure, softs, and is he going to fill to the end, or is he going to fill for just a stint? I believe he's to the end, ladies and gentlemen. I believe he is to the end. Twilight is going to do the same thing. We know that. There's Twilight that comes in, so they're on the same strategy. That's one thing we have to tip our caps to Black Dragon Racing Team all season long. They've been on identical strategies for the most part, and it's paid off dividends here, dividends. So we'll check where One Wing is up the field, just coming through the S's on the softs, but One Wing and Little Mac both have to run the racing hards, which Little Mac is on right now, so this is very interesting. We saw Little Mac on the hards take just enough fuel for the hard stint to make his car as light as possible here, which is a very smart idea. So Little Mac is trying to just be as consistent as possible, and he's coming up on a back marker here only because of the fact that we saw Big Red spin. As we're getting some internet quality issues here, I hope that's something to do with... That's not something to do with our stream here. I hope our stream doesn't get messed up. I don't know why that's happened. So hopefully the stream is not messed up here. But Little Mac on the hards here, and we have One Wing chasing him down. So One Wing's only solace and saving grace is, can he get there in time as he's purpling? So he's doing everything he can. Can he get there in time to actually get a position and maybe possibly get close enough to Little Mac so he could overtake him before he gets on the hards? As you see Little Mac, One Wing hitting the fastest lap of the race there, but as you see Little Mac just get into the first corner, so it's going to be pretty hard for One Wing to do, but it is still possible. Now, like I said, J-Rod, do not count this man out. J-Rod is on the soft tires here, and he knows that he's going to have One Wing on the hard tires at a disadvantage, so this could get really crazy here. Now, for the 4th position, as we saw all day long, craziness going on between everybody here. Look at this line of field. Look at these cars here. You have Anubis in 4th, Twilight in 5th, Emdes in 6th, Cannoli going for the move. Is he going to get it into T1? These guys have been battling all day. He doesn't get it. And then you have Magic Man behind. Wow, oh wow. Magic Man is in 8th right now, but this battle is just insane. Let's go on board with Cannoli here. Look at the work it takes to go through these S's to be so patient on the throttle when you're behind a competitor. And he wants that position so bad. Every time he makes a move, Mdez shuts the door. He might have a run here. This is a very hard overtaking position here. Will he get it done? He gets it done. What a move. And Magic Man getting loose again. What a move by Cannoli. What a move by Joey Cannoli to make that work when Mdez was on the hards. Now it's Magic Man's turn, as Magic Man going for a move around the hairpin. He's not going to be able to get it done, is he? Mdez does not want to give up even more. You can see Mdez getting sideways there on those racing hards coming out of the hairpin. He's going to have a hard time going through Spoon. Let's look at the TV camera for this one. And Magic Man dives to the inside. Mdez does the right thing by letting off there and goes into the draft. So, what an exciting battle here, as we saw Cannoli make the move, then we saw Magic Man make the move. And you gotta figure Magic Man and Cannoli and even Mdez are really biting their tongues, because they deserve to be fighting for third, fourth, definitely, if these mistakes didn't happen. But so be it. That's racing. It happens, as Twilight right now is on some fresh softs and Anubis is on a little bit of worn softs, but Anubis is currently holding down that fourth position. They have the same amount of fuel, so it's going to be very interesting here. Anubis is in a really good position after all the hard work that Twilight has put in. And I'm going to tell you something. If we were to rewind and go back to the beginning of the race, I believe Twilight wasn't feeling good this race and almost didn't even race, which would have been detrimental to his finishing position. So thank God that he did. But I believe Twilight started after 6th, 8th, maybe even 9th. So right now, BDRT Twilight is my driver of the day so far, with some of the amazing moves that he's pulled off, avoiding some crazy collisions here. But you also have to look at Anubis and that Viper, so we should see one more pit stop for everybody, because they are not going to make it through Suzuka with the way that the tires are right now. That is not going to happen, as Suzuka eats away tires. As they will find out tonight, Le Mans is a lot less on tires, but a lot longer of a track. And Le Mans, we all know, can certainly call you out. But Suzuka has put on a show for us tonight here. So we have 4th, 5th, and 6th, along with 7th. And even 8th cannot be counted out, as the hards will come off, and now Mdez will probably go into the pits and run his last 7 laps on those soft compounds. So he might be a pit stop before all these guys, but you can't count them out here. So let's see if anybody goes in. No for Anubis, no for Twilight, no for Cannoli, no for Magic Man. Mdez, okay, so he has to stay out one more lap on the racing hards. I thought he was going to be able to get in there, but that's going to hurt him there. As we have Inferno now battling with Mac. There's battles all over the place. We will get an update on the lead in 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We will. There's Mac not too far behind, and Big Red unfortunately had that spin, but we've seen a few people have spins today. So here's your leader. I'm going to leave you with the leader for just 1 second and see how long he is before he's coming through Spoon. This is getting interesting, though. Can't take our eyes off of this for too long, because One Wing is not too far behind, and we know that Little Mac is going to get off of these racing hards right now, and he's going to be on the racing softs. One Wing did a pretty good job to make up pace and rail him in, but the roles are going to be reversed here, as J-Rod just coming through 130R. So here we go. They're both entering the pits, I would assume. Yes. One Wing went an extra lap. So did J-Rod. Okay, so one wing goes the extra lap. J-Rod is going to get Little Mac. He does. He gets Little Mac on the softs. This is amazing, such an important part of the race. I don't believe J-Rod is going to have to pit again. He is not going to do it. He's going to be a little bit less of tires than Little Mac is. But wow, oh wow, did J-Rod play his cards right? I told you, do not count him out of this race. And I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, this might be a really amazing job by J-Rod here. Little Mac in behind here. How far up the field is one wing? One wing coming through the hairpin. They are right. There's Big Red here, so they will have to deal with getting around Big Red, but Big Red will be entering the pits. But one wing has to enter the pits to get hards and fuel, as J-Rod and Little Mac both have fuel and both are on the racing softs, so they are net 1-2, and it's this man from Black Dragon Racing who has pulled an ace out of his sleeve here as he comes through Spoon, getting a little dicey. Little Mac having a little bit of a better exit through Spoon there, but again, ladies and gentlemen, this is net 1-2 right now. J-Rod in first, Little Mac in second. Championship points on the line. Team drivers for the Drivers' Championship and the team standings on the line. One wing you will see enter the pits this lap, take fuel, and there he goes. And he's going to be definitely overtaken by these two drivers here. It might not be by much, but it's going to be by enough that is going to put him into the third position on the racing hards. He's coming out. Where is he? Yes, he is. He actually comes out behind Big Red, and Big Red will give that spot up, but this is where it's at. Let's get a run down through the field. As you can see, J-Rod's tires, he does a really great job of taking care of his tires. He's really good at that, so you got to credit him there. But look at Mac. Little Mac's tires are fresh and so clean. There's one wing on the racing hards. He's going to do a good job holding down third position. How far is Anubis? Just crossing the start-finish line, as Anubis is in a solid fourth place as Twilight comes out behind him. So this battle continues on. Cannoli on softs, Magic Man on softs, and the undercut did not work on Cannoli, so Magic Man is in lucky number 7 for some, but really not lucky enough for him. Mdez on softs, and then you have Mac and Inferno battling it out here. Big Red as well. But here we go. This is where it's at now. Little Mac is closing in here on J-Rod. Let's take a look here. Both get a great exit out of Spoon. This is going to come down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. I am pumped up here. I am pumped up. What is going to happen here? Setting a purple sector, backing off, playing his cards right, being patient. Little Mac has not done anything wrong all day. Neither has J-Rod. Will Little Mac get the fastest lap of the race here while he has some draft in him? No, he will not. But it's very close. Let's just see how he navigates this T1 here. Very nice driving. You want to get on the power here, and now it's all through the S's. Watch how much work goes into the S's here, between downshifting, upshifting, steering inputs, braking. J-Rod running a little wide, getting a little bit on the grass. It's going to give Little Mac a good run, but can he do anything with it? J-Rod shuts the door. Oh, J-Rod getting sideways. Wow, J-Rod got sideways as Little Mac was just playing patient. J-Rod got sideways and his tires are starting to take a little bit more of a hit. But J-Rod is not going to want to pit. He felt the pressure there as he just overran that one turn. And that puts Little Mac back in the lead. And Little Mac is going to say, peace out. Thank you very much. He was playing his cards right. He did everything proper. He just was smooth on the throttle, smooth on behind J-Rod. I don't think he was waiting for J-Rod to make a mistake. I think he was just waiting for an opportunity, and J-Rod threw the Degners got a little bit wide there, and that's all it takes. It's not over yet though, because you have one wing coming down 130R as you see J-Rod just get out of the camera view there. And let's see, J-Rod's in the chicane, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. J-Rod's about 6 seconds ahead of one wing, who's on fresh softs versus worn hards there. I'm sorry, fresh hards versus worn softs there. But J-Rod, I don't think, is really thinking about one wing so much. He's maybe hoping that Little Mac might slip up somewhere. Either way, though, J-Rod has an amazing race and really did flip the race on its head, as well as was in the lead and really fighting for that position and made it interesting there. So one wing in third. Look at this now. It's not over yet, as you see Anubis, Twilight, Magic Man, and Cannoli there. So let's get on with this battle here. What could happen here? What can Twilight do? Can Twilight do anything through the S's and haul in Anubis? Nice throttle work by Twilight. He's setting some best sectors for himself here. He's on the bumper here. So these last 2-3 laps are gonna, 2.5 laps are gonna be crazy here. Listen to that V8 motor. Here we go. Is Anubis gonna shut the door and not allow an inside move? He does. Will the switchback work for Twilight? Look at the Viper's acceleration out of the hairpin, but the Vet matches it. Twilight is hunting down here. Ooh, they both... Oh, Twilight! What a great save by Twilight. What a great save there by Twilight. Spoon is so easy to wind up spinning there when you hit those rumble strips. Very, very good driving by both of these drivers here, and it's for a very important fourth position, because these two drivers are fighting in the positions here for the Drivers' Championship, as Twilight has the lead over Anubis. Just what will happen down the front straight? Will the Vet be able to keep pace with the Viper here on the straight? Will Anubis break the slipstream? He doesn't seem to be too worried about it there. Goes a little bit defensive on the inside. And once again, Twilight will have to play his cards patiently, but this is the penultimate lap that we're on, as we have Joey Cannoli, who has had an amazing recovery drive to hold on to a solid 6th position after all the craziness that happened to him and getting knocked around and whatnot, as Cannoli was really fighting for 4th. Magic Man was in 3rd position, in a perfect position for him to take home much needed points. This is going to hurt his 2nd place championship run drastically, so tonight at Le Mans is going to be that much more important for him. So we'll have to get you updated afterwards on what the situation is, as Mdez has fallen off so slightly but has put on a great performance tonight. We've seen some crazy action. Early Mac in the M6 has been faithful to that Beamer all season long in a solid top 10 position. Inferno in the Porsche doing another solid job. And of course Big Red in that Ford GT. Really cool looking Ford GT from Black Dragon Racing. Just looks mean, sounds mean. As him and One Wing, after our boy DNA Jeeves had ran the Ford GT, these two drivers switched to it. But at the front, look at this. It is not over. Look at what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, as Little Mac has been ran down by J-Rod, and J-Rod is on some horrendously worn softs compared to Little Mac's, and J-Rod can upset the apple cart here. What has happened to Little Mac? Little Mac must have put a foot wrong that we didn't see. Or he's nursing the fuel because he's really low. They're both really low. Little Mac runs a little bit wide on the inside, forcing J-Rod wide. This is insanity here. Oh! J-Rod with a pass. What happened to Little Mac? Little Mac might have a fuel issue. Little Mac might have a fuel issue, ladies and gentlemen. He is short shifting, but I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. He overcooked the hairpin, but it almost seemed like he let J-Rod by. J-Rod shifting through Spoon is going to take the race win. Do you believe this for Black Dragon Racing? And a huge opportunity for J-Rod in the championship. Is Little Mac going to run out of fuel? I don't know. J-Rod says, I don't care. J-Rod through the final chicane has ran down Little Mac, the race leader, all race for the #1 spot on these worn softs, and J-Rod takes the win. Little Mac in second. It didn't look like he ran out of fuel there. One Wing coming home for third. That's going to help his overall championship battle. Look at this. Anubis has the Twilight getting sideways. Anubis holds it straight. Twilight on the rear bumper. Can Twilight make a push for the inside? This is going to come down to the ever so 10th. Can Twilight get it done? He just misses out. What a finish. Joey Cannoli coming home in 6th. Great job for him. Magic Man in 7th. Magic Man takes a hit in the championship, but a solid run nonetheless. Mdez, who had a great race today, and he did have a collision that definitely hurt his race. He's put on an excellent performance all season long. Takes home a solid 8th place in the Porsche in the 911 RSR, drifting it through those turns there. Early Mac for Rockefeller will take home 9th. Inferno 10th, and Big Red 11th. But wow, oh wow, ladies and gentlemen, the story to be told here is that J-Rod has caught in Little Mac at the hairpin. Well, really before that, but it was the pass at the hairpin that got it done. Unbelievable. I would love to find out, and I'm sure everybody watching and listening would love to find out as well, what exactly happened to Little Mac. I don't know. I don't think it was fuel. I thought it might have been at first, but it was either look at the tire difference. Look at the fresh tires compared to J-Rod's old tires, and J-Rod did indeed run him down into the S's and made the pass at the hairpin, and Little Mac wasn't able to recover. I don't know if something happened there, but wow, what a race, ladies and gentlemen. That is the way to kick off our Sunday morning here. Wow, oh wow. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe what I just saw here. So that is some amazing stuff. That makes me want to go in the garage, and it makes me want to look at where is one of our, here it is. We'll just jump into a Corvette here, because wow, those Corvettes put on such a show here. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that happened. That is something unbelievable. What a great race by everybody. That was just amazing. Amazing job by everybody here. So, J-Rod takes the win. Little Mac takes second place after leading all race long. One Wing takes third place, which is going to be huge for the championship. Twilight comes home, so big points for BDRT in the team championships. That's going to be huge for them. And that is going to really throw things on its head. So let's get an update on where we stand going into tonight's race now. After we saw all that happen there, this is how we stand tonight now going on, because obviously we've updated the standings from this Suzuka race that happened, and we are now with RR1 Wing for Rockefeller in first place. So by him getting on the podium in Suzuka, it secures him with 282 total points, but 248 effective points. So just so everybody knows how this works is, if there happens to be total points that are tied, or I'm sorry, effective points that are tied by everybody. Effective points is because there's 2 drop rounds, so actually only 10 out of the 12 races go towards your final score. So effective points, One Wing at 248. That amazing drive by J-Rod catapults J-Rod into second place overall in the championship with 232. The slip up by Magic Man puts Magic Man in third place after finishing 7th at Suzuka. He's now third place overall in the championship with 212 points. So tonight's race is humongous between J-Rod, Magic Man, and One Wing, as really anything could happen. And the favorite going in there is, as far as points are concerned, is J-Rod. Looks pretty secure to get the podium one way or another. But Magic Man took a little bit of a hit there. Also worth mentioning, Magic Man has not jumped into the series to round 2, so he missed 2 rounds. So Magic Man effectively does not have any drop rounds. So he's put on pretty solid performances ever since joining the division here. But after that, you have sitting in 4th place is BDRT Twilight, who really actually put on a show there and came into 4th at Suzuka. So that's a great turnout with him, and he can still steal the final podium position tonight. And lastly, but not leastly, is RWB Little Mac in 5th place right now, who can also steal a podium position, I believe. Don't quote me on Little Mac stealing a podium position, because he's currently 18 points behind. He's currently 16 points behind Twilight. So he would really need something crazy to happen to Magic Man and Twilight, along with winning the Le Mans race tonight. So it is possible. It is possible. So we have a battle between One Wing from Rockefeller, J-Rod from Black Dragon Racing, Magic Man from Rockefeller. Those are the 1, 2, 3 positions right now that currently hold it down going into tonight. But then you have Twilight and Little Mac. So BDRT Twilight and RWB Little Mac, who actually have a chance to steal the 3rd position there. Then it goes to Anubis, who is currently in 6th place in the championship right now, followed by Joey Cannoli, who's in 7th, and Mdez, who's in 8th. So Early Mac is in 9th, Inferno takes the top 10, and Big Red taking 11th. So those guys are fighting out for the top 10 positions here. So it's really going to be up in the air, guys. We have a battle for the podium tonight, so don't miss out on that. This was a crazy race. I'm sorry that I regret not having my partner here, Rodrigo, with me, because this was something unbelievable. GTC3 has put on a show all season long for us. So I just want to say thank you to all the drivers that have participated in SFR and all the divisions, especially GTC3. It's been a pleasure to broadcast for you guys. I hope you liked our commentary for me and Rodrigo. We will be back in the future to do these. And I hope everybody stuck around last Sunday so they could have a little bit of information on what we're going to do with SFR in the future. I won't go crazy into detail talking about it tonight or today, because I want you to definitely tune in tonight on Demo 1 Garage to see him, our broadcaster Josh from Demo 1 Garage, broadcast this grand finale in GTC3 so we can determine who the winner is and who the podium finishers are. And stick around after that race is done, because Josh will have them on Discord for interviews, so we could hear for the first time all season long from our GTC3 drivers, who have been much deserved to have some of their voices heard, and you'll get to know them a little bit better, and you'll see them in upcoming SFR events, because like we said, what we're going to do is we are going to have SFR 2 main events starting in 2021, mid to late January. It's going to be a crazy mix-up of things. We'll leave that for time to come in the future to tell you exactly what they're going to be, but they will be broadcasted by Josh from Demo 1 Garage. And we are also going to get into ACC on console. So that will probably come in February. SFR will have a server, and we will definitely be there. So I would like to, once again, I wish everybody a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. Thank you for watching and being a part of this with me and our whole SFR community. Hats off to the guys in GTC3. What a job. What a race. Please don't forget to tune into the finale tonight. It's going to be really, really an amazing race, and we will have our winners for you. So for Ketch, and I know Rodrigo at home is wishing he could have been here. I kind of snuck it in without him knowing about it, but I didn't want to wake him up. But anyway, thank you guys so much to our whole SFR family and our community out there. What a race. Congratulations to BDRT, J-Rod. Phenomenal driving from everybody. And we will see you tonight for the grand finale. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.